overall, as a piece of television, as a piece of drama, as a piece of sci-fi, what do you feel Fringe's greatest accomplishment has been?
Fringe's greatest accomplishment?
Yes.
I think that, and this is not just because I love doing that, but I think when we ended season 2, and then when we began season 3, and when when our production team, our showrunners, our writers, our network, studio embraced wholeheartedly the fact that we were going to spend half the season in the 3rd year of a show that wasn't doing that great in an alternate universe was kind of like one of the bravest things I think that you could do. And at that point I was like, oh, I'm damn proud to be a part of this. I think that was just unbelievable that they did that and committed to it. Didn't just give you a little taste, but went, we're going here, so come, or not.
Great.
And how does it feel to see the end in sight now?
It feels extraordinarily luxurious, to tell you the truth, that we get to actually start the final season knowing that it's our final season. Because so often you walk into it and you don't know, and you sort of like, I don't know, there's like a whole lot of stuff that goes on in your head. But I think for all departments, for the writers and for the cast and for the production, there's like, there's no excuse. Like, we'll be putting our whole heart into it and not taking anything for granted.
Do you hope there's closure, or do you hope it's sort of unanswered, or?
I think because it's the end, I hope that there's closure. They're so funny because like closure and resolution are two very, very different things. And so I guess I should think about it. Do I want resolution or do I want closure? And maybe for Fringe I would choose resolution and not closure. I don't know. For my life I'd rather closure.
What about the difference in season 4? You are now not in an alternate universe, you're in an alternate timeline. And playing, I think this is the 3rd or 4th version of Olivia with whatever different set of memory. I started to count one time and I gave up. So
good.
So my question is, the first half of season 4 you're playing alternate timeline Olivia, but then at some point you end up playing a combination of old timeline, new timeline.
I wish I'd known that when we started. I thought we were going to go back. I didn't even know.
I was going to say, how did you separate that in your head?
Well, we didn't have the time. I mean, John and I sat down for a minute and went, so, okay, if Peter never existed, what? Okay, how? And then you're just like, oh my God, the street, like if you start pulling, it's going to just unravel. But I didn't know until they wrote it that this was actually the real timeline. And I should say that too. It's too late now because it's done. But I would have really liked to have known that because I would have done quite a few things differently, actually, had I known that this was the Olivia and that there was like a void in Olivia, as opposed to it just being a completely different timeline.
What?
Well, I think I would have played that. I think I would have made it a little more. I'm like a fan of magic and mystical stuff. I mean, I love sci-fi too, but I do love mystical, magical things. And I think that there could have been something really mystical and magical in that. Like, I don't know, I would have added some ticks or something where little thing. I would have been very conscious of things that Peter had touched or Peter had done, and I would have played him in my mind a little bit more as like a haunting. I would have made it a little more haunting. But I didn't know. I thought we were just going to go back.
We did too.
Yeah. Good. We were all on the same page.
I thought it was the real time.
Really?
I was arguing with people the entire season about that. I was like, no, it's gotta be.
Good on
We
you.
had a banana bit. We did the first podcast, and we had a banana bit. I thought it was a whole new universe that was going on. He thought it was a new timeline. I ate the banana.
Oh, really? What's
Yeah,
how many?
just three. Sorry, it could have been worse.
As the central character of a show that's more than a little complicated and intricate, what has been the biggest challenge for you for playing Olivia and making the character quite so vivid and alive?
That's so sweet of you. Like the greatest challenge, like keeping the things in.
With the whole show, you created a really interesting, different character. And what was the challenge in actually creating that character and keeping her going and sort of keeping true to the character as she went?
You know what? I think that this is the first time I've ever done anything like this and anything this long too. And so the biggest thing I think for me was like learning how to make TV work for you. And I didn't know that, and it's so funny because you'd watch I watched John obviously from the start, and Josh too, who both have much more experience than I do. And it's only it was like maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, I was like, oh my god, that's totally what they did, and they learned how to not hijack. I don't mean hijack, but they learned how to kind of subtly push not their agenda, because that sounds negative, but this is a compliment, it's like a positive thing. They learn how to kind of bring the bits that they want to bring, or how to plant seeds a little bit better, and I didn't have that skill. But I think what I then, and again, and it's like the ultimate universe I keep talking about, but only because it was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump, and then the Bell stuff too. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna jump, because the worst thing that can happen is that people are gonna go, oh my god, that was so terrible, and it's one episode, move on. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And so this season, I haven't had Olivia to myself for a while. I haven't had her just her and I 100%, all my heart focused on her for a couple of years. And I think that instead of bemoaning, well, I've set this up, I've set that up, blah blah blah, I'm just gonna go, let's just make her who I want her to be, because I don't think that she isn't there yet. She's not who I really want her to be. And so that's my personal challenge for this season. No matter what I get given, I'm gonna just make her who I want her to be, so that then when we end, I feel like I've done her justice, I just still feel like I just have... Thank you.